This trip report is titled,
Beware of the Pink Sleepy Meds 800mg Experience
by Reddit user
MilesOnDPH.
This report is going to be long and disorganized. It was insanely hard to remember after like the 1 hour mark, and most of the things I describe are from the memories of others. So my name is Miles, and I was a pretty avid user of DPH. It got to a point where it was kind of the biggest school joke. I took it every few days at doses ranging from 100 to 600 milligrams, and never, not once, did any teacher notice, until this trip happened. My day started like any other day. Wake up, get on the bus, pop a few bennies and chill out. I popped 32 of them boys, equaling 800 milligrams, which I thought I could handle in school for some reason. Usually I would only start just feeling the effects when I got off the bus, but today was different. I could barely stand up and my heart was already beating like hell. One thing I should note, avid Benadryl users know that it's best to be in one room for the whole trip, so as to not get confused and start a fire or something. But I was in school. But we had a long assembly that day, which I thought was perfect. I went to my first period class, and before it started I wanted to ask my teacher something. I remember wanting to ask her something about homework, but I just started ranting about Christopher Columbus, going on and on about fuck all. She said, "Wait, what?" And "I don't know what you're talking about." I think she kind of knew something was up, but I played it off quite well. Once we got the call, we all went to assembly. By this point, my trip was turning bad. The whole assembly, I just wanted to lay down, but I kept forgetting that someone was behind me, and I kept laying on her legs by accident. I had no idea who it was, and I felt really sorry in the moment, and kept trying to tell her that I was sorry. But I think I was just mumbling and rambling, as she said, "You're fine, man, but you gotta chill out." I ended up having a mini seizure nearing the end of the assembly, maybe like 5 seconds long or something. I noticed it right after and realized that I was probably gonna get noticed if I didn't do something, but there was nothing I could do. It was already in my system. This is where the story takes a really bad turn. We went to get back up to our first period classes, but I, for some reason, started walking about the building aimlessly for like 20 minutes. I finally wandered into my teacher, Mrs. Eaton's class, and I started looking for my belongings that were not in there. There was a conversation. Here's about how it went. Teacher: "Oh Miles, what are you doing here? It's only first period." Me: "I'm just collecting my stuff." Teacher: "Your stuff isn't in there. It should be in your first period class." Me realizing: "Oh yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting." Teacher: "Hey Miles, are you alright?" She then proceeds to walk up to me and look me dead in the eyes for like 10 seconds. My eyes got really red and dilated when I take any amount of DPH, even normal doses for sleep. Teacher: "Are you sure that you're alright?" Me: "Yeah, I'm gonna head to my first period class now, alright?" Teacher: "Yeah, okay, see you later, Miles." I then left her room and stood there for about 2 minutes trying to figure out why I had just left her room without my stuff. I walked back in. She noticed something was up immediately. Teacher: "Miles, what are you doing?" Me: "I forgot to get my stuff." She walked up to me and asked me to step out into the hallway. Teacher: "Miles, if you are this confused, something is wrong." Me:
"No, I just need my stuff."
Teacher: "Your stuff is not in my classroom." Followed by silence. "Are you high?" Me: something along the lines of,
"No, I just didn't get a good sleep last night and I don't feel good at all."
Teacher: "Yeah, I can tell. I'm getting the principal and he can handle this." I started freaking out and kind of blacked out for a few minutes before coming into the principal's room. I had no idea what happened. I vaguely remember talking to him in the hall, but I'm sure I was just saying gibberish. I was in the main office and I didn't really know why I was there, so I started walking out of the office and up the stairs aimlessly before being caught again by my principal. He asked me the same question: "Are you high?" I finally gave. I told him I took 20 to 25 Benadryls. In reality, I don't really know why I said a range. I could have just been honest and said I took 32, as I was still aware of how many I actually took. He carefully walked me to the nurse's office, and while we were walking anywhere, I kept getting sidetracked and walking into random rooms and shit. One of my friends told me that at some point I went into the study hall room, picked up a chair that had stuff on it, and just walked out like it was nothing. Someone else said that I went into Mrs. Eaton's room a third time and started touching people's hair. I do vaguely remember falling into someone, but other than that, I had no recollection of these bits. Somehow I managed to get to the nurse's office, and the nurse gave me a blue Gatorade that I still have, unopened, in a drawer in my room. Somehow, at some point, I got hold of the bottle of Purell. I thought it was Gatorade at the time, and sat it next to me as if it was the Gatorade. The teachers both went to the side of the room and discussed what was happening. I heard one of them say, "Should we call 911? Of course, I did not like hearing that, and said,
"No, we should not."
very loudly, but it seemed like no one actually heard me. I don't remember what all happened until EMS got there, but I was basically just chilling out in a chair or some shit. My mum came with the EMS and she walked in and said, "Miles, what happened to you? You look crazy." Apparently I thought I had no mask on and put on like 5 masks by that point. I also reached for the Purell on the ground and started unscrewing the top before someone finally stopped me. Apparently I kept reaching for imaginary objects. To make a long story short, EMS talked to me and I got in the ambulance. The guy strapped me down and my heart rate was so high that the machine just kept beeping, which freaked me the fuck out. I kept trying to get up, but to no avail. I was strapped down, of course. That was the last memory I had before I blacked out completely. I think the school went on lockdown or some shit. It was mental. When I got to the first hospital, yes, there were 2. They shot me with a total of 12.5 milligrams of Ativan, enough to fuck over a 150-pound person, and my heart was still beating 160 or something. At some point, my dad arrived. I'm not sure when, but he had to hold me down, along with like 7 other people, so they could strap me down to the bed. My dad said that he was using all of his might plus some, and he is a strong-ass man. Apparently it took like 10 minutes for them to fully restrain me. My dad described the way I looked in terrifying detail. He said, "Imagine Jackie Chan and how he is all buff. If you flexed all of his muscles for like 10 minutes straight, that was you." There was a point where I came to, and I thought I was still in the school, and what's this? There's people around me with phones in their hands. They're recording me. They're trying to take my clothes off. "No," I said, "leave me alone." I was scared as fuck, and fighting like all hell. I cried before blacking out again. At some point I ended up going to a different hospital, and this one they had an easier time strapping me down. My dad was there as well, and he said the look on my face was a terrifying one of a zombie. My cheeks sucked in, my tongue bit and bleeding, my muscles all flexed, my hospital attire all pissed on. At some point I tried to bite my own father for whatever reason. Apparently all the Ativan hit me all at once, because I supposedly calmed down significantly at some point. My dad said that whenever the nurses came in and asked those questions that they ask you at a hospital, I would just start rambling about strange, esoteric ideas one might have during an intense marijuana high. And this is the most bizarre thing he has ever seen. Apparently the only common phrase I had said almost every time I spoke was,
"I fucking hate this shit."
At some point they put a catheter in me, and being that I was fucked up on Ativan at this point, I was way more mellow and easy to understand. They apparently explained what the catheter was, and I just said,
"So you put that in my dick?"
and then apologized to my father. I finally fell asleep at some point. My dad said that when I was sleeping, my heart rate dropped to like 25 beats per minute, and the nurses had to adjust the machine so it quit going off. Finally, after like 10 hours, I woke up and came to, partially. I thought my legs were paralyzed. I thought maybe I was dead. I thought I'd actually lost my vision for a bit because I couldn't see anything, just black, even though there is a picture where you can clearly see all the lights on. I was having some minor visual hallucinations though. I think I realized that they were drug induced. For the next like 3 hours, I kept falling in and out of consciousness, and my dad said that each time I would say some more bizarre ideas about random shit and somehow draw connections to other strange ideas. Some of the things I was saying were caught on camera, and each time it was very strange and very bizarre. I kept asking if I was dead, or exclaiming that I didn't want to kill myself, I simply wanted to get high. I didn't feel sane again until about noon 30 that day, although the Ativan was still fucking my ass hard for like 2 days. My heart was still beating like there was no tomorrow. Let's be real, there almost wasn't, and my legs didn't fucking work till like 1:30 PM. The nurses gave me more meds to stabilize me, and at some point, finally, gave me food. Holy shit, did that food taste good. For the first time in a while, I was crying really hard because I got to eat ice, warm jello, and hella water because my mouth was as dry as the damn Sahara Desert. The rest of my time at the hospital was very uneventful. The only lasting effect from this was the strange distortion of sound. I hear everything way lower pitched now.
And it hasn't gone away.
Doctors said it's not HPBD, but instead some form of brain damage, which is just fucking wonderful, isn't it? All in all, fuck Benadryl. I hate Benadryl, even as a sleepy med now because of this. Don't do it, and peace out, I guess. If you have any disturbing true stories of your own that you would like to be featured and read aloud on this channel, then please submit them in to the email address in the description. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more disturbing content.